welcome home.
Hi, it's Aaron and Ian. We're here today to talk about Savant and voice integration. Starting in 2015, Savant led the industry by delivering the first universal remote control with a built-in voice engine. And we've just continued to add voice control to our platform. Certainly as the newest member to the user interface family, it can be one of the most powerful control options we give a user. With one word or a few words, we can affect change either in one room or every room. And so what we thought today is we take you through the 4 different integrations that we offer, starting of course with Ian taking us through the Savant Remote.
So the Savant Remote is an extension of the Savant system itself. So everything that you can control, everything that's automated in the home, you have the ability to control from the remote, but then from voice as well. So there's a push to talk microphone button, super secure way to engage that voice integration. We press and hold on that button and then say what we want the system to do. So we can say things like, turn on the living room or turn on cable, and it will respond and turn on that favorite channel, that music, and so on. We can even go right to a certain station or right to a certain playlist, as long as we capture those possibly as scenes. One of the important parts here is that you get to define what that voice experience is. You can name the scene, anything that you like, so knowing what to say to the system, as well as what it does, what aspects of the home that it controls. So I can say things like, relax, and have not only the lights and the shades be affected, create that perfect mood, but also get my favorite music playing and just enjoy things right away.
Alexa, turn on Welcome Home. So over the past few years, several other vendors have delivered third-party voice control solutions that are low cost and easy to deploy. And what Savant has done is, beyond the Savant Remote, we've made both Alexa and Google Home absolutely native to our platform, user configured, and absolutely free of charge. And so as the Savant homeowner decides, you know what, it'd be nice to have a certain voice engine in this room so I could just walk in and say something, we've made it possible for them to add that solution without having to call their integrator, without having to write a check or wait for that team to appear at the house. They can literally order that up from said vendor, run down the street to buy one, take it home, take it out of the box, set it up, add it to the Savant system simply, which we'll cover shortly, and boom, they're off and running. With Alexa, what we've done is we've tried to concentrate on very large changes in the environment. So we look at macro commands, big changes. So the first thing we can do is we can turn on or off any room in the system. When we turn a room on, it's going to return to the last thing you watched or listened to. Fun fact, so does the power button on top of the remote control. So this is something that our user is accustomed to from the remote, and we've carried over to voice engines. We can turn lights on or off in a room. If we're turning lights on, we're going to 100%. We can turn lights off to 0%, but obviously we don't want to just walk into a room and get full bright light all the time. And so we can do things like ask, hey Google, set the kitchen lights to 20%.
Okay, setting the kitchen lights brightness to 20%.
Now, it may not be quite what you want, so we might say, Alexa, turn on Welcome Home. And now I've got a prescribed scene where I have the lights set exactly the way I wanted to, whereas the previous command was an on the fly, I think 20% is what I'm looking for. The other things we can do with both of these voice engines, besides rooms and lights, is we can trigger a Savant scene. So as Ian mentioned, those buttons we make ourselves that follow us to various user interfaces also follow the Savant user to third-party voice engines. And so now, instead of saying 5 or 10 different things, or taking out an iPhone and punching 10 different apps and 15 different buttons, We made a scene, as Ian pointed out, it's personalized to what we want, and we absolutely can just trigger that scene instantly. Now, I think one of the biggest differences between third-party voice engines and the remote is that with the Savant remote, we don't need verbs. We don't have to say an activation word. We don't have to say a command to make it listen to us. We actually get a push to talk button. So when I'm ready, I just push that big button and away we go.
The next integration that we're releasing is Siri integration via your Pro Remote. So it's an extension of what you can already do with voice via your Pro Remote. Remember that we have that secure push to talk functionality. It's only listening when you're pressing that microphone button, but how we use it is a little bit unique. So while we might be controlling the rest of our home with things like Savant Scenes and talking directly to the remote, we're going to use that same button to be able to engage with that system, but that allows us to connect directly to the entertainment that we want to enjoy. So we can say things like turning on our favorite episode of a show, whatever it is that you may already be saying to your Apple TV remote. We've brought all of that functionality into the Savant Pro Remote, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think one of the best things about this is the elimination of button presses. If you're using, any of the media servers out there, you're navigating a lot to find that show or that particular episode. And what's great about Siri is I can just simply press the button and say things like Netflix, and boom, it fires up Netflix, or find LeBron James on YouTube, or any number of commands. And Siri's gonna be there to deliver that experience for us inside 2 or 3 seconds. It's incredibly fast and really user-friendly.
Well, and keep in mind what else Apple TV does. It connects you with HomeKit, Apple's proprietary technology for managing devices in the home. So you can engage and control those elements as well, all from your Pro Remote, just the same.
Right, so a door lock that maybe is controlled both by Savant and is a HomeKit device, while you're using Apple TV, you can actually still say, hey Siri, lock the back door. And in this case, it's gonna be the HomeKit command that locks that back door. When I switch away from Apple TV, maybe now I'm watching Roku or cable television, and I ask the remote the same thing, now it's the Savant voice engine delivering that same command to that same backdoor lock.
You really get the best of both worlds.